Welcome back, ScareTopic. Today we got the day Mount St. Helens destroyed everything. And if you don't know what Mount St. Helens is, Mount St. Helens is a volcano. And I think it's in Washington. But yeah, let's get this. But before we run the video, I want to say I hope everybody's day has been going great. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope everything is going your way. And yeah, I hope everything's all right with you. Let's get it.
May 18th, 1980. 8:32 on a Sunday morning in southwest Washington, the north face of Mount St. Helens. A slab over a mile wide breaks loose and slides away. Mountains
scary.
are not supposed to do that.
Now we've got an eruption down here. Now we've got a big slide coming off. Come up over the ridge towards me. I'm going to back up.
I'm not gonna lie, if I see something like that in real life, I might not even give you a warning. I'm out. I'm running. I might not even say a word. All you're gonna hear is my feet hitting the floor. Beep, 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 beep. I'm out. I'm out. Nah, I'm lying. I would try to, I would give everybody a heads up. Like, if nobody see what's going on, I would say something. But obviously, everybody would see what's going on. You can't miss this.
6 miles north, on a ridge the science called safe, a 30-year-old geologist named David Johnston gets 5 words into his radio. That blast is a wall of rock and gas, 600 degrees racing flat across the ground near the speed of sound. It bursts from the mountain's open side and flattens everything in its path.
That it looked like the start of World War III. It was Mount St. Helens volcano in Washington state exploding with such force today that it was felt more than 100 miles away.
6 miles is not far enough. 57 people will die this morning. Almost all are standing where they were told they could stand.
My God, I didn't realize how badly I wanted to live. I just can't describe it. It's pitch black. Just pitch black. This is hell on earth I'm walking through.
Down to me is covered. It's going to get me too. Get out of here.
This is the story of the
For him to say that, for him to say, I didn't realize how bad I wanted to live, it was terrifying. It was terrifying, bro. Like, do me a favor, y'all. I want y'all to comment below. Would you ever visit a volcano? Like, is this one of them things on your bucket list? Cause it kinda is on my bucket list, but I'm really I'm terrified, gang. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go through with this one. Cause not only is the smoke hot and will burn your skin if you get caught in it, but you will die from lung failure and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? The particles in the smoke is bad for you, and it's hot. Plus the shit is lava. The ground is melting. I don't think I'm gonna go through with this one, y'all. But do me a favor, y'all, comment below. Let me know if this is on your bucket list, and are you gonna go through with it? And if you do go through with it, shoot you a video and send that video to me.
biggest eruption in modern American history. Mount St. Helens had been silent for 123 years. In March of 1980, it woke up.
Damn.
On March 20th, a magnitude 4.0 earthquake rattled the peak, the first sign that
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to...
magma was on the move beneath it. A week later, the summit blew open a crater and began venting steam. Through April, the earthquakes came by the dozens every day, and helicopters full of geologists, reporters, and sightseers circled a mountain that had turned, almost overnight, into the most closely watched volcano on Earth. Then, the North Face.
I hope they didn't allow people to go do tourist trips on this volcano during this time, because that's what happened to the last volcano video that I did, and that was crazy. They killed a lot of people. So I hope this is not the same thing, because I do not want to watch that again. I do not.
Started to move.
A bulge noticed earlier on the north-northeast flank of the mountain near Goat Rocks was found to be moving north-northwest at about 5 feet a day.
Survey crews measured a bulge growing out of the mountainside. A dome of rock more than a mile across, shoved outward by magma rising inside the peak. It grew 5 to 6 feet per day. By the middle of May, it stood more than 400 feet out of line. One of the USGS scientists monitoring it, a 30-year-old volcanologist named David Johnston, compared the mountain to a keg of dynamite with the fuse already lit. The state drew a restricted zone around the volcano and closed it. Johnston's data, and his insistence, helped keep it closed against loud and growing pressure from cabin owners and a timber industry that wanted back in.
Okay.
By mid-May, the standoff had been running for weeks, scientists warning that the north face could fail at any hour, and a public that had watched the mountain steam and rumble for 2 months without doing anything worse. The fear was wearing off. On May 17th, officials relented far enough to escort one convoy of property owners in to collect their belongings. A second convoy was scheduled for 10 o'clock the next morning.
We're paying taxes and we'd like to use our property. I'm not afraid.
The mountain went at 8:32. At 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, David Johnston radios in his measurements from Coldwater 2, an observation post on a ridge 6 miles north of the summit. Nothing unusual. The bulge is creeping outward at the same steady rate it has held for weeks. The sky over the mountain is clear. He had taken the shift only 13 hours earlier, covering for a colleague who was needed elsewhere. 6 miles felt like distance. 6 miles was the edge of what the science of 1980 believed a volcano could reach. At 8:32:11 a.m., a magnitude...
Not for nothing, that's our problem. We think we can predict nature. We can't predict nature. No matter what you do, you can't predict nature. Nature is the most unpredictable thing ever. Can't predict nature, bro. That's our problem. That's why when stuff like this happen, we're not really ready. We're not ready for it, because in our head we think it's gonna go this way, but when it comes down to it and nature strike, nature do what the fuck it wanna do. So we can't be prepared for this. We can never be prepared for a catastrophic natural disaster. We can't. All we could do is just try to be. But yeah.
5.1 earthquake fires directly beneath the north flank. For a few seconds, the mountain holds. Then the entire bulging face, 3/4 of a cubic mile of rock and glacier ice, shears loose and slides towards Spirit Lake.
Damn.
It is the largest landslide ever recorded on land. And that sliding mountainside is also a cork coming out of a bottle. The magma inside the peak had been pinned down by the sheer weight of the mountainside sitting on top of it. With that weight suddenly gone, the gas locked in the molten rock flashes free all at once, and the volcano detonates through the open wound in its side. The blast fires north, horizontally, straight over the top of the landslide that freed it. It leaves the mountain at around 220 miles per hour and accelerates to nearly 670, approaching the speed of sound.
That's fast. I did not know a volcano moved that fast. Damn, 200 something mile, y'all. That's like a friggin' street bike. That's like one of them speedsters. One of them. Yo, bro, that's fast. That's fast. God damn. Yeah, I'm not doing this. This might be something I'm gonna have to scratch off my bucket list. I can't do this.
Cloud behind it is 660 degrees Fahrenheit. It overtakes the fastest thing in the valley, which is the landslide itself, and then it starts catching everything else. There is no siren for something like this, and there would have been no point. And because the cloud is moving at nearly the speed of sound, across much of the valley, it arrives with its own thunder still somewhere behind it. At Coldwater 2, 6 miles out, the blast is seconds from the ridge where David Johnston stands.
I just created simple product videos for all these different products using Veo, Nano Banana, and Airtable. No API keys to connect, all the models are built right into Airtable. You don't need to start with professional photos, I just took pictures of
Vancouver! This is it!
His warning is already on its way to Vancouver, the last anyone will hear from Coldwater II. The blast crosses the ridge in about a minute. What the blast does to the land north of the mountain has no precedent anywhere in the United States.
That's 6 miles. That ridge was 6 miles. So that blast traveled 6 miles in 1 minute. Bro, are you crazy? 1 minute? Nah, he gotta be lying.
Closest to the volcano, the forest simply ceases to exist. 100-foot Douglas firs torn out of the ground whole and carried away. Further out, to a distance of 17 miles, the trees snap at the base and fall in combed rows, millions of them, all pointing away from the mountain like iron filings around a magnet. When it is over, 230 square miles of forest are lying flat. Pilots flying over the ridges that afternoon describe whole valleys that look like they've been swept with a broom. Then the vertical eruption begins. With its side torn open, the volcano drives an ash column boiling into the sky, 80,000 feet in under 15 minutes, and holds it there for more than 9 hours.
Nah.
The plume rolls east across Washington.
I just can't describe it. It's pitch black. Just pitch black. This is hell on earth I'm walking through. I can hear the mountain.
Now imagine being in this. Imagine being inside of this, bro. Like, you can't even see the sun. The only thing you're gonna think about is death. I'm not mad at him right now. He said, I never knew I wanted to live this bad. Damn, I guess this is what it takes for some people to realize, you heard? For them to just stop their bullshit. Maybe if a lot of people in the world will go through some life experience, maybe they'll change their ways, you know?
Rumbling. It's an enormous mud and water slide came down and washed out the road.
In Yakima, 90 miles away.
Not saying that I want people to go through life-changing experience. I'm just saying that it's a dark world we live in, and I would like for people to change their ways, you know what I'm saying? I would like for people to do better. That's all.
The streetlights come on at mid-morning. In Spokane, visibility drops to 10 feet in the middle of the day. Ash falls across 11 states, and the finest of it circles the entire planet in 15 days.
Damn, 15 days?
The mountain is still not finished. It's
Bro, how fucking fast? Well, it's moving like with the wind, right? Cause it's ashes, it's smoke. So I guess it's gonna travel that fast. 15 days though around the world? Shit.
The ice.
That is definitely catching you. I'm not going there. if that shit erupts and I'm there, it's catching me. I don't run that fast. I don't even walk. Bro, I don't even... What? That thing is moving 200 something miles per hour. It's catching you.
Capped the peak for centuries, melt into the eruption, and the water mixes with loose rock into lahars, volcanic mud flows with the consistency of wet concrete. They pour down the river valleys west of the mountain, swallowing bridges and homes as they go. 90 minutes after the eruption, a wall of mud 12 feet high is moving down the river valleys, 27 miles from the mountain. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it is pushing past Castle Rock on the Cowlitz River, more than 40 miles out. A river running the wrong texture, gray and thick, carrying whole log decks and the wreckage of houses. The mud rides all the way to the Columbia, the Pacific Northwest's main shipping channel, and chokes it closed to ocean freighters. Geologists will later put the energy released that morning at 24 megatons of TNT. The summit of Mount St. Helens, the top 1,300 feet of one of the most photographed peaks in America, is gone.
Just like
a mountain that stood 9,677 feet tall at breakfast measures 8,363 by the time the ash clears enough to see it.
Let's look at that difference one more time, y'all. Look at that difference one more time. Boom. You see that? Like, this much of the mountain is gone. Watch my mouse. Like, this much. That's like half of it. That's crazy.
The most photographed peaks in America is gone. A mountain that stood 9,677 feet tall at breakfast measures 8,363 by the time the ash clears enough to see it. And nearly all of that violence lands on ground the official maps had called safe. The blast zone that morning.
See what I mean? We're never all the way ready. They thought they was safe. They thought 6 miles was the furthest distance it will travel. Bro, that thing went around the world. Around the world. In 15 days. You crazy? It's no way they could have predicted that, bro. It's no way. That's what I'm saying. Like, nature is the scariest thing on the planet. Besides a young nigga with a gun. Or your crazy baby mama.
It's loggers, campers, scientists, and photographers. 57 of them do not come out. Robert Landsberg is a 48-year-old photographer who has spent weeks documenting the volcano's slow-motion threat.
People hear the words print on demand, they picture a graphic slapped onto a basic tee. But that's not necessarily.
On the morning of May 18th, he is parked a few miles west of the summit with his camera when the north face collapses. He does what he came to do. He shoots, frame after frame, as the cloud boils outward and fills more and more of his viewfinder. Somewhere in those final frames, the picture stops being a photograph of an eruption and becomes a photograph of the thing that is about to reach him. Landsberg understands this. He spends his last minute on the film instead of himself. He rewinds the roll back into its canister, seals the camera in his bag, and lies down on top of the pack, shielding it with his body. Search.
Bro went out with a mission. His mission was to get the greatest picture of a volcano erupting, and just go out with that. And he was fine with that, just knowing that he got that. That is crazy, bro. So, bro, people are adrenaline junkies. Adrenaline junkies. That shit is, that's crazy, bro.
Find him 17 days later, under the ash. The film survives, and it develops. The frames Robert Landsberg protected, a wall of ash swallowing the sky, are among the only close-range images of the lateral blast ever taken. Geologists study.
What did I told you? What did I told you? Now his family is set from this. His family is set from this. This is in his name. He's the first person to do this. He's gonna be getting residuals from this forever. This is in the Museum of History. Oh shit.
Study them to this day. Reed Blackburn, a 27-year-old newspaper photographer manning a camera post for National Geographic and the USGS, is caught at Coldwater 1, 8 miles from the summit. His camera is recovered too. The film is ruined. On the shore of Spirit Lake, the eruption takes Harry Truman, an 83-year-old lodge owner who had lived on that shoreline for 52 years and who had spent the spring telling every reporter in America that the mountain would never hurt him. He stays with his 16 cats. The lodge, the shoreline, and the man are buried under 150 feet of debris. Of the 57 people who die on May 18th, Truman is the only one inside the restricted zone without permission.
Wow, he loved that land. He loved that land.
David Johnston's body is never found. 13 years later, a road crew cutting through the debris turns up pieces of his USGS trailer. The ridge where Coldwater 2 stood carries his name now, Johnston Ridge. His colleagues have lived with the arithmetic ever since. The man whose warnings helped keep the public off the mountain is one of the people it killed, 6 miles from the summit. 57 dead, most of them asphyxiated by the ash cloud.
And that's not that bad, though. 57 is not that bad. For a catastrophic event like this that went around the world felt this. So, for 57 people to lose their life only, it's not that bad. You know, my condolences to those 57 people's family, and may those 57 people soul rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? But that's not that bad, though. It's not.
More than $1 billion in damage, over $3.5 billion in today's money. 230 square miles of forest flattened in minutes, and a set of official maps that had to.
And the crazy thing about the forest is they can't even use the trees no more. Like, you know, an earthquake happened, a tree fall down, they could take, you know, they could split the tree up and take the wood and use the wood. In this situation, they can't even use the wood. It's all burnt up. Everything is burnt up.
For all of it. Because here is the uncomfortable arithmetic of May 18th. Nearly all of the dead were outside the restricted zone. On roads, ridges, and campsites the state had left open.
Got hit.
Journalists and historians who later reconstructed the decision-making found that the zone had been drawn tight around the summit less by science than by.
So think of it as like a TV ad with a catalog component where I can choose on the Roku app and immediately it's going to send me a text.
By politics. Much of the land in the blast path.
All right, so what they just said, I'm going to run it back because that was important and I want y'all to hear that.
Restricted zone. On roads, ridges, and campsites the state had left open. Journalists and historians who later reconstructed the decision-making found that the zone had been drawn tight around the summit less by science than by politics. Much of the land in the blast.
So, I hope that help y'all make y'all decision. So if some of y'all do decide that y'all want to go to visit a volcano, I hope what they just said, help you make that decision. What he just said is the ridge for the restricted area around the perimeter of the restricted area around the volcano, it was done by politics. It wasn't done by somebody of science, somebody that knows what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't done by somebody like that. It was done by people doing politics, just talking and saying, oh, maybe this is the distance that the lava would travel if it ever exploded. So, and if that's how they treated this area, and this is the most significant area in one of the most significant mountain volcano areas, sightseeing areas in US, in America, imagine the other ones, the other sightseeing spots.
Belonged to a timber company, and closing it was a fight no one in the state government wanted. An order extending the zone was sitting on Governor Dixie Lee Ray's desk, unsigned, on the morning the mountain erupted.
It seemed to me that was a quite reasonable thing to do, and far better than simply closing the area and saying all those people could no longer earn a living.
The only reason the toll stopped at 57 is the calendar. It was a Sunday. On any working day, hundreds of loggers would have been cutting timber inside the blast area, with permission.
What changed afterward changed for good.
So they got lucky. Those workers, they got lucky.
2 years after the eruption.
Basically what he's saying is those workers, they would have been at work while this was happening if it wasn't a Sunday. All because it was a Sunday.
The USGS opened a permanent volcano observatory in Vancouver, Washington, the Cascades Volcano Observatory, dedicated to David Johnston. The United States built a standing volcano alert system modeled on the National Weather Service's storm warnings, and Mount St. Helens became the most closely monitored volcano in the Cascades. Scientists who study lateral blasts today do it in large part with data that came off this mountain, including the frames from a roll of film that a photographer chose to protect instead of himself. In 1980, the maps drew a circle around the summit of Mount St. Helens and called everything outside it safe. The mountain exploded sideways.
I hope y'all make the right decision. Now drop them comments below, cause I'm gonna be reading them. You heard? It's ScareTopic. I hope everybody have a wonderful day. You know, have a good night. If it's night where you at, stay safe. And I'm out of here.